I don't know. These are all the topics that we're talking about, but the mainstream media is not talking about.
That's right.
That's the problem.
And on Fridays, we enlighten you because it's Denny time.
Everyone's so upset about one little sun glare. Yeah. You know, one little time the sun gets in your eyes and one guy drops one pass. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's the end of the world. So you know what? You're so upset about it. You're so upset about a little light. Guess what we're going to do to make the season interesting the rest of the year? We're going to play in total darkness.
I think that's the perfect way to start, keeping the Cowboys season interesting. I'm thinking maybe fans and players will be allowed to bring candles, scented candles, maybe to make the stadium smell good, and also to light up the sidelines. So maybe somebody can see the ball as it's coming to them. Maybe CeeDee Lamb will be able to actually see it for once.
What the mainstream media doesn't want you to know with our friend Denny Carter. Denny, happy Friday. How are you?
Happy Friday to you guys. I hope you have your candles for the next Cowboys game, because I know I do. I'm ready.
Yeah, well, maybe they can be Cowboys-themed candles as well. Maybe you could light one to see, and then you can light another one for Dak's ankle. It's interesting, Denny.
Hamstring.
Came on screen.
That's fine.
What?
It's his hamstring. The ankle was broken several years ago and has since healed.
It doesn't matter.
That we know
it's always
of, yes.
It's always something. It's a bunch of fake news. I don't know. Denny will tell you it's actually his ankle. Okay. They want you to. The mainstream media wants you to think it's his hamstring,
right.
but I promise you, it's his ankle as well. It's interesting. Denny it looks like you're wearing a denim jacket. When you first came on screen and we saw you, I thought, oh my, is that a white lab coat? Are you an internet doctor?
Another licensed physician on the show.
I have been licensed by a very dark web university, and so I am accredited to give medical information if anybody needs that. But for now, can I tell you a little bit about a Browns receiver that nobody's talking about?
Sure.
Please do, Denny, because I am
by
a
all
man
means.
with too much invested on the Browns this week, and I need every grain of hope I can have right now.
I am too, and it's a little frightening, but what we have here is Elijah Moore. And by the way, listen, I just want to say, I had to go to the deepest, darkest web to find these stats, okay? Because I'm not hearing anything about Elijah Moore. I haven't heard anything about Elijah Moore for 3 years. Yeah. But apparently, the guy has 21 targets over his past 2 games. Only 5 receivers in the entire NFL had more targets from week 8 to 9 than Elijah Moore. The Browns, by the way, are dropping back at a 71% rate since Jameis Winston took over under center for Cleveland. And they're playing a Saints team that's not all that good. They're allowing the 12th most fantasy points to receivers. So I think we might be onto something by getting our Browns in the lineup this week. I think this game could be kind of fun.
The media, of course, is talking about Jameis Winston's return to New Orleans, the revenge game narrative. But you're right. They're completely ignoring the fact that a big part of what Winston's been doing the last 2 weeks is throwing to Elijah Moore, 24% target share in the 2 games since Winston started. And, oh, by the way, pretty good matchup. Saints actually allow the 3rd most yards per game to the slot, which obviously that's where Moore lines up for a lot of his time. I appreciate you doing the digging, going through the dark web, not caring about what kind of cookies and cache are on your computer as you scroll through a lot of sites that honestly I want no part of at all. What else have you found, Denny, as you continue to dig for the readers?
It's part of the job, Matthew, first of all. And if my computer is fried because of it, so be it. It's a worthy sacrifice. Kayshon Boutte, Patriots receiver, looks to be the wide receiver 1. I may have been on this air a few weeks ago saying that Demario Douglas was the wide receiver 1 in New England. That seems to have been wrong. I was misguided, probably by the media. But Boutte has six targets in each of his past 3 games, taking on a Rams secondary that's kind of a mess, allowing the 11th most PPR points per game to opposing receivers. Only the Texans and Ravens, guys, have given up more wide receiver touchdowns than the Rams this year. So I think Kayshon Boutte is kind of sort of interesting this week.
Okay. Denny, I love your aesthetic today. You look like you'd be in a music video for David Bowie, as he's known in some parts around here.
That's always the look I'm going for.
Yes. Aladdin saying Aladdin Denny. What can you tell me, Denny, about Dawson Knox, or Fort Knox, as he's known by me and no one else? What can you tell me about Dawson?
That's right. Yeah, Fort Knox. I call him Fort Knox too. It's you and me, Jay. So Dalton Kincaid doesn't look like he's going to play this week against Kansas City. And it's a great spot for Dawson Knox because the Chiefs are allowing the third most receptions to tight ends. No team has given up more yards to tight ends than Kansas City this season. The Chiefs have the 7th highest pass rate against them this year, and I think the Bills are going to lean hard on the pass here. And this is just going to be checkdowns galore. Let's be honest. Every Josh Allen versus Mahomes game is just these two guys checking down over and over and over and over. That's awesome for a guy like Dawson Knox.
Yeah, for sure. I read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and the Washington Post cover to cover for the last 2 weeks. No mention of Dawson Knox.
Not a peep.
Not a peep. Not a peep.
Curious.
Kayshon Boutte, nowhere to be found as well. These are the things that the mainstream media is hiding from you as well. I double dog dare a CNN anchor to mention Dawson Knox or Kayshon Boutte this week. It won't happen.
Do it.
No, they won't.
Do it.
No, 1,000%. No,
Denny,
they
that's
won't.
why you are the hero the people need
Yes.
and the hero people get. For more of Denny's work, make sure to go to NBCSports.com and check out the funnel defense report, as you always hear us talking about pass funnels, run funnels. Denny, we enjoy having you on every Friday. Thanks so much.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.